Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Unhinged Guide to America's Kickoff Tournament. The first team that we'll talk about is NRG, the overwhelming favorites to win everything from qualifiers to global tournaments. Every single member on this team has won a Tier 1 international event. They even have claimed a villain role for VCT this year. And I know some people might find playing the bad guys as corny, childish, or just do not like it. But regardless, you have to admit they're doing a pretty good job at it. They have amassed a long list of enemies, and it's so long that I have to read it throughout this video. Starting off, we have Baby J, Oxy, Ethan's spice tolerance, Saucy's hair growth, WestJet's respect for women. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, those last three things don't exist. Where were we? Oh yes, Michelle Obama.
I'm amped. Let's go. I got things to do.
Next, we have 100 Thieves, and looking at this team, many have been wondering if Busio can turn these boys into men, Mulan style. Now, I don't think it's fair to put all this pressure on him. That's not his job. He's not a sports psychologist or a professional vibe merchant. I do find it interesting that people aren't looking at Asuna as a leader or even as a veteran with experience either. The guy has the most Tier 1 experience on this team since joining 100 Thieves in 2020. Basically since the game came out. He only gets beaten out by former CSGO and some Overwatch players currently in the VCT when it comes to esports experience. He is a first generation Valorant pro, and I think this season we should see further growth from him too. Regardless, they have gotten the short end of the stick. They're in the group of death and most likely will not get out. Just winning a game in Kickoff will be an accomplishment for them in my opinion. Which sucks because I used to like 100 Thieves when I was a casual. To be honest, I miss the old 100 Thieves. Hiko with the clutchest 100 Thieves. Not the boys too scared to entry on site 100 Thieves. Not Nayshot having mental breakdowns 100 Thieves. That's all I got so far for this incomplete brain rot copy pasta. Feel free to complete it or rewrite it in the comment sections down below.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Aspas made you is what people are going to say if Loud doesn't make runs on the global stage. And if you're going by community sentiment, as well as some pick'ems and tier lists made by creators, you would think it's all over for them. Feel free to sleep on Loud like how people slept on them after Masters Tokyo. I personally won't. They brought in Quick from Furia, and I don't know if he's going to be playing duelist for the team. Many are thinking it will be Thieves, but honestly we have no clue. Only people who have scrimmed them should know. Too bad scrim bucks are kinda low in that department too. Nonetheless, they survived a group of death in the past, so don't be surprised if they do it again.
We do not flinch in the face of death.
Loud made you is what Aspas will hear if Leviathan doesn't make runs on the global stage. And honestly, they should claim multiple high finishes. This org made all the right moves during the off-season. They kept King, who was their insane fragger on controller, Tex, who has experience of lifting a trophy in Ascension, and even Calm, Evil Genius's champs winner, and whose introduction was met with some drama. However, with the recent Sky nerfs here, having Calm on the team may have been the right move since he is replacing Nazweer, who was mainly playing Sky in the off-season tournaments for Leviathan. This drama was sparked by Aspas, and it's starting to seem wherever he goes, drama follows too. Great for those engagements, baby. Keep doing your thing, King. Then Mazinho is also here because KRU and Leviathan loves trading players back and forth like their Pokemon cards. And with a lineup as stacked as this, they have a pretty good chance of making it out of the group of death as well. Vanity, Stellar, the geopolitical climate of Yucatan. All of South Korea, but not North Korea. Kinda interesting, and says a lot too.
Please stay alive. I hate making new friends.
Now for G2. G2 originally lost their franchising spot because they were still in their edgy Andrew Tate phase. But Valorant is an esports of second chances. Maybe too many second chances. Nonetheless, the guard players are still waiting for their original org to come back with milk from the gas station. So, Riot allowed G2 to have permanent custody of these players for a potential of 2 years. This process meant the likes of Oxy, Whippy, and unfortunately Shazam to get the boot. Tex also parted ways from guard to be on Leviathan, so Leaf came in to replace him. These guys have a good chance to qualify for the next stage without losing once as well.
Nice try, kid.
Now we have MIBR.
There are no reasons to be excited about MIBR.
And with that, I guess we can move on with Evil Genius, who... Nah, I'm just kidding. MIBR decided to make vibe moves to improve the team's internal situations, as well as bring in Fraud, who was Loud's previous coach, which will be a nice little science experiment to see how important coaches are in Valorant. They also brought in Artisan from Tier 2 and Mazine, but no Dirigin. Come on, what a missed opportunity. Also, can someone tell me why so many Brazilian players end their username with Zine? Not trying to be a prick, I just genuinely want to know why. I think it's kind of cool. Nonetheless, MIBR is not expected to qualify from Group A, and are the favorites to go winless at the Kickoffs tournament in the Americas. Their best chance to avoid that is if they go against Furia, but we'll save them for later.
Anyone have funds to spare?
And now we finally talk about Evil Genius, the other bad parents in the Americas who try to send their kids to a boarding school high in the sky so they can be someone else's problem. Unfortunately, Riot blocked this soaring adventure because of something called a contract that you signed. Crazy, I know. Who would have thought that Riot would clip people's wings and deny them the opportunity to fly to their quests?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I'm sorry, that's the last bad pun I have in me. Which makes me kind of think, why not just do like a pseudo merger? Kind of like how Ludwig and Moist Critical did for their Valorant teams in Tier 2. Nonetheless, the big story with EG is if they can make use of the opportunity that only they have. 6 days to study their opponents and game plan for a win. Why do they get that many days and no one else? I don't know. My best guess is that it's a reward for winning Champs 2023. I'm sure Demon1, Ethan, and the Com are loving that fact. However, Potter with the likes of jawgemo, Derek, Afpoth, Nature, Foe, and Superman can once again shock people. Despite having this advantage, a lot of individuals are not seeing them moving on, but I do. I actually have them going undefeated in groups, but that's just my opinion.
Never count out the underdog.
And the only team that can rival EG when it comes to announcement videos is Furia themselves.
Psych! That's the wrong number!
Well, I guess that's not true anymore. I still respect them a lot because they at least are giving young Brazilians a chance. When Loud was on the lookout for a new duelist, it was rumored that Havoc was supposed to be one of their pickups. So things should be exciting for Furia, right? Well, he's not playing the duelist role anymore. At least he wasn't in most of their recent off-season tournaments. They also brought in Felipe. They're most likely going to get group, but maybe they can sneak a win against Cloud9, which has major upset potential, which could possibly be a close game and dictate the future of Group A. All of Cloud9 at this point, President Biden, and Donald J. Trump. Cool, they're impartial. Good job, guys.
We'll come back. I can feel it.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Once seen as the Barcelona or Patriots of Valorant, now they look like the Lakers. Not them. Yes, those Lakers. Or even the Dallas Cowboys or... Wait, give me a second here. Basically, a team so popular that people have to talk about them, even though their performance may not call for it. However, things are looking good for them this year. We've been hearing a lot of praise for John QT, who did an amazing job for M80 in the Ascensions League, as well as Zelsis, who has been given the nickname Vibe Merchant, which in my opinion is kind of a cool nickname if you can spin it. You know, good vibes for your team, but bad vibes for your opponent because of your play so dominating. I'm working on it. Just like how the Sentinels are working the machine by farming drama impression, since Bakata is all but gone from this team. Most people, including me, are high off of that Scrimbucks and off-season performance copium. They can make it out of the group of death, which will be a great test to see if they're truly back.
That was fun. Again?
When does Messi and Aguero play? Honestly, I think it's pretty cool to have a team that's partly owned by soccer legends. I still have to respect KRU for giving us Clown Show. They also made some offseason moves like picking up Shy from, you guessed it, Leviathan. Maybe he'll end up like Kesnet, who bounced from KRU to Leviathan and back to KRU again. I know players like Zelsis has done something similar, but it's kind of funny how KRU and Leviathan are just basically funneling players back and forth. They're in Group C, so the question is, can they upset G2 and EG? I personally don't have them, but a lot of people do. Maybe if Kesnet has monster games.
Don't worry, guys. They say I'm a prodigy. Not my words. Not my words, baby.
And one man's trash is another man's punching bag. I'm sure if it wasn't for Evil Genius, C9 would have been the most disliked org in Valorant right now for how they treated Ye and Vanity. But EG did such a bad job that people kind of like C9 again. And rightly so. They kept Zeppa, who was great, and Jakey, who had a pretty decent rookie season. They brought back Vanity, so I guess they somehow fixed those darn role issues. And since G2 no longer has a need for Oxy and Whippy, C9 welcomed them into their arms. This team is the definition of a dark horse in my opinion. Oxy has been a punching bag for T1 players for a while.
Oxy is a good player. He's not ready for franchise.
Demon1. Rank the duelist in NA from best to worst. You can just skip and do the worst one.
Oh, shoot. I'll say Oxy, probably.
I take it as a sign of respect because they wouldn't really know your name unless you were good at the game or if you talked a lot of trash. Maybe both. Nonetheless, C9 would most likely qualify in my opinion. Well, I hope you like this NA biased guide to America's Kickoff. What are some of the things you guys look forward to during this tournament? Let me know down below. Also, like the video, really helps the channel out. And as always, stay safe and I'll see you guys in the next one.